Standing as the debut title from DONTNOD Entertainment, who would later go on to make Life is Strange, the early building blocks of that game's DNA are definitely here. Even if it is ham-fisted in this game, the early building blocks are prominent enough to notice the team's signature style. We'll get into all that later, but for now, let's take a look at my early impressions, all 3 hours of them, in the game that almost bankrupted DONTNOD Entertainment. Remember Me.
Nothing will stop me from accomplishing this.
You play as freshly memory-wiped Nilin, a memory hunter, one of the best I'm told, who's about to have her head completely wiped when a strange voice, who later reveals himself to be Edge, helps her to escape in a, shall we say, unconventional way.
The passage on your right. Take it.
The game then dumps an entire vat of lore over the player, but the basics are you and freedom fighters good, megacorporation memorize bad. However, this causes some to become addicted to getting more and more euphoric memories, and, in the process of receiving so many foreign memories, this corrupts their sense implants. This causes them to become disfigured husks of humanity called leapers, or memory junkies. See, while the wealthy get to experience the highest of highs through the use of the best sense tech, the poor struggle to survive mere miles away in the slums with outdated or corrupted sense implants. Speaking of leapers, let's check back in with Nilin.
Sister? Meet.
How about friend?
Oh, she's doing fine. But that actually brings me to a good point. Let's talk about the combat here, because this is where I think one of the most interesting aspects of this game's foundation lies: the presence system. Early on in the game, we're introduced to a unique combat system where you basically build up a combo using predefined button presses, and doing specific combos of buttons can actually do one of 3 things. Can do more damage, heal, or bring down a countdown timer. But for now, you have to fight. And fight you will. The game's quick to remind you of how important this presence system is for your survival.
I don't want to fight you.
You're gonna have to, Nilin. These guys will kill you. Use your presence.
After being told where you need to go to meet Tommy, and a little bit of light platforming, you get your first real challenge at the game's mini-bosses, the Skinner.
Bang, 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 bang.
I've got the wrong girl.
He has a special ability that lets him absorb leapers to power up his strength, which is a great way to tell you every boss in this game is probably going to have a gimmick. This is a Capcom joint after all. But once he's done and dusted, and after a little bit more platforming...
Stop, Nilin!
Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god! We finally arrive at the Leaky Brain Bar. But before you've even arrived, you're treated to one of the game's 2 beautiful vista pans from my time playing. I mean, the desolate nature of this strange but familiar place is only made more grand by the incredible score that accompanies it. I mean, just take a look and a listen to this. Look, I could gush more about the game's aesthetic, but I think we need to see a man about a thing. Once we finally do arrive, we meet Tommy, and he is, shall we say, very hands-on.
Come here, sweetheart. Nilin, it seems like a lifetime.
He tells her a bit about what happened to him, and we get a look at the box art beauty shot revealing her official Memory Hunter outfit. But before we can even take it all in, we're attacked by some crazed woman who turns out to be a bounty hunter named Olga. This takes us into one of the most interesting parts and foundational moments for DONTNOD's signature style that I talked about at the beginning of the video. This is the moment I went from loving this game to going, whoa, hold on a second. As this particular moment drags the story's pacing to a crawl. Up to this point, the story had been progressing at a nice pace, and the game's visuals kept me interested, but it was at this point where I thought that the game's coolest moment was also one of its most infuriating. Look, I'm a simple person. I don't like to do the same task over and over again. I don't like to replay the same thing over and over again. And, well, that's what memory remixing is. You find moments in the cutscene that play to make specific outcomes happen, and in the game, you rewind back through the same cutscene you just watched to alter what they call glitches to make that outcome happen by changing the memory of the past. And if that sounds familiar, you've probably played Life is Strange. But unlike Life is Strange, as far as I can tell from my limited experience, the original event still happens, but you're just altering her memory of it. It's a fascinating game mechanic that definitely seems to be one of the coolest standout moments in my 3-ish hours of gameplay, but I couldn't help but think this feels like an entirely different game being shoved into my action-adventure platformer. And the game's pacing stalls out here. I'm really hoping that these moments are few and far in between, and that they're only integral moments key to the plot. But after a bit of brain scrambling, we're suddenly friends, and she has come prepared.
That's the Nilin I know. A magician. Nobody can turn heads quite like you.
So, after a quick flight, we're making our way to Neo Paris proper, and it's gorgeous. It is absolutely beautiful, with yet another grand reveal, as she's told she needs to get to an architect that has all the plans for every building in Neo Paris. And it's here that I kind of become increasingly concerned with our proactive little friend Edge here.
No one chooses which side of the firewall to grow up on.
It's not their selfishness that I condemn, sister. It's their eagerness to forget everything that bothers them.
But he did save our life, so I guess he can't be that bad. Also, this is where we get one of the funniest moments and honestly out-of-pocket moments with probably some of the clunkiest line deliveries I've ever heard.
Miss, are you okay? You seem lost.
It's her, the escaped memory hunter.
Okay. Patrol 17 log. Escaped suspect ID'd. Recovery in progress.
After taking in the sights, we do a bit more parkour, again. And it's at this point that I feel like the platforming really was starting to wear me down. For a game that focuses so much on that presence fighting system, which is the strongest aspect of this game, they spend very little time actually letting you do it. Most of the time you are platforming to a place, finding a person, fighting a boss, platforming back, find next boss. I mean, the loop is fine, but it just feels a bit repetitive. But for every time there would be a section when I would start to feel this, the game would pull back and show me its gorgeous sights again. So I can't really complain. Oh yeah, speaking of bosses, let's see how Nilin's doing.
Political ideals are so last millennium.
And honestly, on the topic of bosses, I think that this aspect of the game is its strongest point. This was my first real experience using the presence system in a way that actually required me to understand the mechanics, and that is the fun that I was looking for in this game.
Well done, big girl. You're through to the final segment of the show. Sudden death! Come on!
Just give me that. More and more of that. And this is where I wrap up my time in the early hours of Remember Me. I feel like the pacing's been keeping me engaged, and the overall narrative is fun and interesting. The world is gorgeous, and there are people with their own motives that you can't fully trust, and even those you think you can, you don't feel that they have your interests at heart. Also, the errorists and Megacorp memorize whatever they want to call themselves. That dynamic feels like it is a very believable power struggle that I think we can all relate to even today. Let's talk shop here, because this game isn't cheap. It comes in at $30 on Steam for the PC version. However, I've seen it as low as $5 on third-party sites. A physical copy ranges anywhere from $16 to $45 on eBay, and the digital PS3 edition on the store, yes, the PS3 store is still open in 2026, with the DLC as well, is $19.99. Whether any of that is worth it, ask me again after the full review drops. But for now, I'll see y'all in the next one. Keep it classic, gang. Oh yeah, and one more thing.
The name is Nilin. This time, you'll remember me.